a Rogue Media Network production.
Welcome back to the show. April is Community College Month, and this year's theme is the smartest first step, the strongest next step. And it really kind of captures the life-changing role that an institution like McLennan Community College has on lives. And it is helping students every day take that step, preparing them for what comes next in both education and the workforce. So I am so delighted to have joining me today Dr. Frank Graves, who is Executive Director of Workforce Program Development, and Dr. Chad Eggleston, who is the Vice President of Instruction and Student Engagement. So welcome, guys. And when you hear this theme, the smartest first step, strongest next step, what does that mean to you in your work?
Thank you. That's such a great question. And thank you for having us, by the way. We're so delighted to be here. Why don't I take smartest first step and you take strongest next step?
That seems to fit.
I'll say smartest first step. We know that we can offer an excellent start to students. We can start students off at a very low price range, and they have an excellent education for a lot of different outcomes. Mm-hmm. One of MCC's strongest things that we do is that we provide a great path to transfer. You know, we have a university center where we have a strong relationship with both Tarleton State University and Texas Tech University. So that's a huge thing. We want to prepare a big portion of our student body is preparing for a bachelor's degree, preparing for that transfer. But then there's another big chunk of our student body that's really looking to enter the workforce and to do that rather quickly. So we're trying to make sure, that we give them that opportunity on both sides of that equation to be ready with a really strong first step. You want to take the next step?
Well, yeah. So the first step gives you so many different opportunities. Then the next step may oftentimes be employment. So you step into a good certification program that's a short term, then it lands you a great entry point for your employment. That could be in healthcare, business, management, logistics, those type of programs. Then that's that next step to employment. Then once you're there for a while, it's an opportunity, the next step to come back. Then you may want to do the associate's degree, then our partnerships with Tarleton and Tech to being able to move forward to bachelor's onto the master's. So that first step and those next steps could be many next steps along the way. And I think that's where we approach it from a long-term standpoint, because we get it that not every student's going to step in automatically wanting the 4-year opportunity, but that's an opportunity down the road. You start where you are, taking that first step.
I might add, too, on the first step, we very much hope about 25% of our student body is dual credit students.
I know. I wanted to talk about that because that is so amazing for high school students.
Well, we're very proud of that.
Yeah.
It's a very important part of our work. And really, we think that's about as good of a first step as you can make.
Really?
It is financially a really wise decision. And you can, we have students, just the other day at Waco ISD, we found that we have somewhere around a little less than 40, I think, students who are graduating from one of the Waco high schools, either Waco High or University High, and they're going to have their associate's degree along with their high school diploma. Excellent. So what a great first step that is. Doesn't get any better than that.
Oh, that is just amazing. It's just another reason why Community College Month is such a great opportunity to kind of highlight and showcase what's happening here at MCC.
Well, there's so much to share. I will just say a little bit about our commitments for this month. For the longest time, and I'll try not to give you too long of a history lesson, but for the longest time in the community college environment, what we were trying to do is make sure we provided access, right? That's the secret sauce of a community college world, is that you've got an entry point. And that's for everybody, no matter what your background is, no matter where you're beginning, we are going to meet you there and give you access to a college education. Then for a long time in our sector of higher education, we were thinking about, okay, how do we commit the right resources to ensure success, that students complete the degree? Hugely important moment among community colleges, that we're providing all kinds of assistance. And so you think naturally about tutoring would be one thing. Certainly we're doing that. We're providing supplemental instruction. But you might also think about basic needs assistance for our student body, emergency grants, our food pantry, all kinds of things that can be obstacles to students achieving that success. Now, and the moment that we're kind of in is that we are trying to take responsibility for those post-completion outcomes. Well, what I mean by that, that means at McLennan Community College, we are going to take responsibility for having programs that we know put a student on a good trajectory when it comes to their wage. And we're not going to have programs that do not have those kinds of outcomes for students. So that's tremendously important and is a part of this gentleman's job because he's helping us to make sure we develop those programs that help with those post-completion outcome results.
And there's a good bit of work even locally that's done with target occupations to our local workforce board. They go out and they look at the data, then they look at the wage data for, and as well as employment data, and then give us that feedback on here are the top programs that are industry and careers that are out there. And certainly we use that as part of our decision-making process and help guide students there. When you look at some of the things that are on the list, there's going to be a lot of healthcare. It's going to be a lot of business and industry type of careers there that are well suited for our students to be able to take advantage of. And I think that's what no student just comes there wanting to take classes. They want to come there, they enjoy the work, they enjoy the classwork, but at the back end of that, they want a viable opportunity.
Yeah, have a goal in mind.
Yes, have a goal in mind.
Right.
And that employment's a piece to that goal. And it is where they can work here, go to school here, and live here and raise their families for this whole big picture of success there.
A little more though on how you are identifying those areas that are needed in the workforce. I recently was able to have a representative from MCC talk about the new dental assistance degree.
Oh yeah, so we as a matter of fact, we just left from over there. They're having an advisory committee meeting, which is a big part of that. So we have some local dentists on that advisory committee.
Yeah,
they have given us insight into what their demands are. They have trouble getting dental assistants, folks in the door to be able to work for their, for their facilities. So that initial response from them gives us the initial input that there's a need there. Then we verify that. I mentioned the Texas Workforce Local Board's target occupation list. That's listed on there as a need. Then you look at some of the national state data, certainly represented by that. So you put all those together, then there's the opportunity. We submitted that opportunity to the Texas Reskilling and Upskilling. It's a grant through the coordinating board. Got a substantial number of financial investment from them to be able to buy equipment, the curriculum, and all those things. Yeah,
because when you're going to train somebody in something like dental work, I mean, you got to have you got to have a setup.
It's not cheap. That's
we learned a lot more about a lot of things that I didn't know about. You go to your dentist, but there's a lot of that equipment and things that were certainly there.
Yeah.
And from an institution standpoint, it was a commitment on our part to take an existing space, let's rip it out, tear it up, and refashion it to a state-of-the-art facility.
I'll just say we want to make decisions based on the data that's provided to us, whether that's local workforce boards, TWC. We have a vendor called Lightcast that we work with, and they'll sort of go out and say, okay, here are the job openings in your space. And so then we want to say, do we have programs that match the job outcomes? And I think what I always say is something that's really amazing about MCC is that we are really going to help try our very best to focus students on their end goals.
Yeah.
And we don't have the luxury, most of our students don't have the luxury of kind of waiting to figure it out. So we've got to help them have that path. And then, boy, they're going to get every resource they can get from us to help them get across the finish line.
Yeah. So, so how do those workforce needs really translate into the classroom?
Well, it's mostly about which programs you start. But I'll give you an example, and we'll just stay on the dental assistant. We're going to talk to dentists. We're going to see how our students are performing in those spaces who go out and provide the dental assistant work. And we're going to, that's a feedback loop where if they say, hey, we really need you guys to work a little bit harder on sterile technique, then that feedback will come right back to the program and they say, hey, we're going to change up our lesson plans pretty quickly. So we can be very responsive to the industry needs. That's really across the board, and that includes all of our business programs, accounting. When we meet with those workforce advisory committees, we are really genuinely listening to what they tell us, which is a little bit unusual in higher ed, that we will be so responsive in a curriculum way to change things up based on their needs.
Yeah, and the expectation is for those industry partners, those advisory committees, they're their program, right? They're to breathe life into what, like Chad mentioned, the curriculum and how we develop that and tweak that to be able to meet their needs. So it is this whole feedback loop that, and like in that dental assistant from the beginning, they're at the table telling us, hey, these are the things that are most important. These are our pain points. we've launched the curriculum. Then we're coming back today as in our new meeting and saying, hey, this is what the students said. This is how the outcomes were. Then we'll have most of these courses or programs have a state licensing exam on the back end of it.
There's
You
that.
get feedback on how you do on that, and you make those tweaks to make sure that you're teaching to the level, the expectation for the accreditation body. So you got a lot of opportunities, but that's where the industry part is there for an opportunity for the student to be out there in those areas. And that's in a lot of different internships that we have in other programs, clinical settings that they're able to do. Then from the employer standpoint, when you see that student out there and they're in a clinical setting, you get an opportunity firsthand to see their work.
Yeah.
And we tell the student, this is an opportunity as almost a job interview or job opportunity for you to be able to show what you can do and demonstrate those abilities. Because we can get you the credential, the certification, but then they want to see that other piece to it, the work ethic, the professionalism, the communication stuff that goes along with it.
Right, because you have to have those soft skills as well when you're dealing with a patient that's got their mouth open. You got your hands in their mouth.
Right.
It does take a lot of skill there.
And as I recall, this is a little bit of an accelerated course too, where people can start in a relatively short period of time, be prepared to go on that job hunt.
That's right. This credential, that's a 10-week program.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So it's quite quick. And what the language that we use, I haven't mentioned the state. Of course, the state is a hugely important partner for us in this work. And the state will identify for us which credentials are what they call credentials of value. Those are the credentials on which we're funded. So at the end of the day, if we have a credential of value, student graduates with that, then the state says, boy, that's very valuable for our local and statewide economy. So we're going to provide you with performance-based funding based on that. So we also are very responsive to our state partners, and that's, for the most part, been a very helpful conversation.
Yeah. What are some of the other high demand areas that you're seeing for workforce development?
Well, I think, as I mentioned, the healthcare areas tend to be LV and RN tends to be certainly growth opportunities there. I look at some of in our business area, the computer information systems and our cybersecurity. There's going to be growth there. We know that there's a strong demand for AI skills. When we listen to our advisory committees, we hear that all the individual programs and industry partners are using some form of AI in their work. They're using it to be able to certainly expedite things and getting it done, but the individual students need to have the knowledge and the foundational base. So doing work there, I look at our accounting opportunities there. That's going to be on your high demand list. And this would be the things that when we're talking to students that you certainly want to be able to guide them into. We've had a good push on our fire services, EMT. Those areas have an opportunity for growth. We've actually expanded the number of students that we're taking in for as cohorts just to be able to certainly put more students into the marketplace for the industry to be able to hire. That's locally. And, we want all of our students to stay here if they want to, but there's opportunities within the region for them to be able to go and work.
I'm glad you mentioned AI because there's, of course, so much to talk about. What jobs are just not going to be there anymore because it's easier for AI to do the work, but they're still going to, if you're in a wreck, you got to have a human come and see about triaging you,
Well, you think about all those healthcare professions. You're going to need human beings there to stitch you up. No question about it. I've been very proud of our response when it comes to AI. That's another great example of some conversations that have come up in these advisory committees where people just say, boy, we got to get ready for this reality. And if you're producing students who are not afraid of that, but know how to ethically utilize that tool in a business environment, that is going to be a huge boost. I'll just add too, I think one thing we noticed from some of our recent data in terms of the gaps where we can really help meet a need is it's really in the business space and it's general business. It's office managers, it's bookkeepers, it's these kinds of roles where there's still a significant gap in our service area. Which is McLennan and Falls County, that we want to meet, which means deeper, stronger, ongoing investments in our business space.
So much more I want to talk to the two of you about, particularly how this is all impacting our local economy as well as we're celebrating Community College Month, the month of April, but especially our gem here in Central Texas, McLennan Community College. I want to tell you that today's show is brought to you by Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram. They are your friend in the car business. Stay with us. There's more of the show ahead.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Alan Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well, service and any kind of warranty issues and those sort of things. Because of the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. I said I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
I had somebody that was looking for a car, I would definitely recommend Allen Samuels. The trust that I have, the care that they take, they genuinely want to take care of you. They really ask for your feedback when you go to the support department to make sure they're taking care of you in every way possible. So I really appreciate that they listen to your feedback.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLennan Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
So tear down all of the buildings I've known since I was a kid. I ain't got many good memories of them anyhow. I don't know if I ever did. Just spending my last few dollars. Boy, I've been shooting pool at Reds. And that table is almost as warped as the city council who run the show around there. Ain't many folks around there up and sober half the time since they opened up that liquor store a couple years ago right across the county line. And police sleeping on the freeway, got your children getting high. And I grab a bottle just to help me keep myself warm on these Texas winter nights. never do much complaining. If I can't find no sleep at night, mostly everyone I know just constantly bitch and moan if their lives ain't going right. It feels like it's been 10 years, maybe more, since me and my dad said bye. And I carry on just knowing that he sees the same old stars as me in these Texas winter skies. Well, one day I almost up and made my getaway when my daddy sold the land, handed my fair share to the woman that I loved, that I don't never understand. Now I wind up face down in this tiny black hole town, time and time again, waking up without a plan to help me make it through these old Texas winter winds.
The Riesel Fair is back and bigger than ever. Bring the whole family for a day packed with fun, from thrilling rides, delicious food, local vendors, and live music Friday night. Saturday music begins at 2 p.m. Admission is $5 for adults, 2 to 12 years, $3, 2 and under are free. Mark your calendar and join us for the Riesel Fair, May 7th through 9th. The Riesel Fair, where memories are waiting just for you.
And we are back as we're celebrating Community College Month, and particularly MCC. And I have two of the stars of McLennan Community College here with us, Dr. Frank Graves, who is the Executive Director of Workforce Program Development, which is a wonderful, interesting thing we've been talking about, and Dr. Chad Eggleston, who is Vice President of Instruction and Student Engagement. It's, from your standpoint. First of all, what brought you to MCC? Tell me a little bit about your journey to where you are today to this position.
Well, I'm happy to do that. So we came to Central Texas, my wife and I, about 9 years ago now. It will not come as a surprise to you. We're a couple of Baptist kids, and we got drawn in by a job that my wife got at a local university you may have heard of, Baylor University.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is a place that we love. We're certainly a Baylor family. My wife works in the religion department.
Oh.
And we're both religion professors by training. So that's how we come to the work of higher ed. And anyway, so we came and we said, for my wife, she's an American religious historian. It's really great to get to Baylor. And so what's Chad going to do? And I started looking around and found this amazing community college. And so that was my first entree into the community college space. And boy, did I get lucky or blessed, or however you want to look at that. The blessing of being at really, I think, certainly one of our state's very finest community colleges. I just could not possibly have anticipated how great it has been to work with colleagues like Dr. Graves, President McCowan, and many others.
She's been on the show many times. So.
That's right. You talk about the stars. Let's call her the star.
She's
the
star.
Definitely,
she's
the star.
We're the undercard for sure. But just was so lucky to get here and worked as the Dean of Arts and Sciences for 4 years. I then worked in the Provost's office at Baylor for 3 years, and then had an opportunity to come back to MCC as a vice president. And boy, has it been a great 2 years doing that work. So that's my story.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I grew up over in McGregor, and so MCC has always been a part of. You knew it was here.
Oh yeah.
During my summers, I got a chance to go out to Angelo State, play football out there. But during the summers, I'd come back and take classes here at MCC. So it was kind of there. I was working for the state of Texas as a trainer. We did some training on the MCC campus. Got connected with some of the folks over there in the corporate training area. Kind of liked it. Kind of positioned myself to get a job there. Then that was coordinator, then dean of continuing education, then dean of public service and workforce and public service, and now this new role. So it's just been an opportunity for 20 years to be at a place that impacts local students. And when get a chance to work on the school board, serve on the school board in McGregor, and then be able to see those students come through McGregor ISD, then walk across the stage at McLennan, that's pretty special.
Yeah.
It's pretty special, something to be a part of. And I mean, that's the piece of the community college that brings to the local environment. And I just love being a part of that.
Well, and aside from that, it's just a gorgeous campus.
Well, we're very proud of the investments that have been made.
That was going to be fun just going to work every day.
It is absolutely fun. And I will say, we've got several core values that we try to operate on. One of those is excellence matters. And you certainly see that in our physical plant. I mean, we believe that community college students deserve the very best, including our facilities. So that's been a historic commitment of our college. Certainly our current president has lived into that in a very serious way. And so we really care deeply about, how students feel. Are they comfortable? Is this beautiful space that you enjoy? So it is a great place to go to work for sure.
Yeah, and I think that we've taken the approach that we mentioned about the certifications and associate's degrees and those programs onto the bachelor's, but even in our adult ed and literacy program that starts with individuals that don't have a high school diploma or maybe have stopped out and are really, not say disadvantaged, but are starting at a point in life where they realize that they may not be where they need to be and need to start at the begin level to get into their GED or high school equivalency. We've leaned into those type of programs, but see that's the another first step. My first step may be a little further back, but then that opportunity to be able to then leverage that to stack into that certification onto the associates and to the bachelor's degree. So that type of, so we've got the physical piece there and the facilities, then logistically have the plan in place or the pathways in place to really grow any individual, no matter where you come from and where you are. We've got a space for you.
How do you see all your work impacting the local economy?
Well, I do think so. When businesses come to town and we get an opportunity to work with the chamber, when they bring host folks into town, one of the things they ask about is what is our source of employees? Where are they coming from? And so they would be looking at our programs to see if they've got back office folks need from accounting and business for logistics and managers. Well, those are the folks that students we're graduating to be able to go and be employed by them. So that's a major resource. And from an economic development, I mean, you're going to find that a strong labor force is going to be important for the growth and development of any community. And we play a big part in the development of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I will just add, Frank is in a new role as the executive director of workforce program development.
Mhm.
And that's a significant commitment on the college's part to make sure that we are engaging carefully with, especially the greater, Waco area Chamber of Commerce. I believe you were with them this morning. I jokingly call Frank the Chamber Whisperer. And so he's very engaged with all those important leaders in our space to make sure when a business is coming into town, they're going to hear from us. And we're going to be listening to what their needs are, up to and including, do we need to develop programs in support of particular economic needs? So it's just tremendously vital that we have a vibrant, active community college for our local economy. And I'm excited about this new role that Dr. Graves is in because he's now our point person. He served the college for many years and was on my team as the Dean of Workforce and Public Service. So I'm a little angry that he's left me, but we're going to find somebody great to replace him.
Certainly. Well, and I think it's, you mentioned about the commitment, and it is certainly obviously full-time job, but an opportunity to engage more because we know there's more opportunities, and it is results certainly for the employer side of it to be able to give them good quality workers, but then from the student side of it, many of our students, as I mentioned earlier, they want to stay here and they want to have a viable career that they can raise families and live and enjoy some of those things. So I think it's that holistic approach that you take to the work that makes it more very meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely. What is one thing each of you wishes the community better understood about MCC?
Well, that's a great question. You want to start?
Well, so recently I've had an opportunity to take a few folks on tours about the campus and just show them about the spaces. And they don't know, I guess they know we do a lot of things. They know about the programs. And some of them may not know all the programs we have. We got a lot of healthcare, business, emergency services, and human services, and then, transfer programs. So the number and the depth of programs that we offer, then when we take them around the spaces like the food pantry, the things that we do for the student services area, the SLIC and opportunities for students, though we don't have housing, but we want them to be ingrained in a part of the campus because we know that leads to their success. All the other efforts on campus that are going, then may know about the foundation and the work that they do, but the substantial impact that they have on the amount of dollars that they raise and provide for students to get their education. So there's some.
I think we've talked about several of the things that I would most want us to emphasize. I think the impact on our workforce is so tremendously important that people understand that, there's something like 700,000 students annually in Texas community colleges. There are 50 of them. So we just have a tremendous impact on the workforce. I guess the other thing I would want, especially students, to know is that they can get to anywhere from here with that first step that we started with. We've got a graduate that's graduating from Waco High right now that was in the Trib recently, who is graduating with an associate's degree and her high school diploma. She's headed to Harvard University.
Wow.
Okay. So you can get to anywhere from McLennan Community College, or you can complete that dental assistant credential, which is
in 10 weeks.
In 10 weeks.
That's what just amazes me.
In 10 weeks, and you can very quickly change your family's economic outlook.
Right.
Because you're going to have a significant wage increase. So really, there's no place you can't get by starting at MCC. It is the kind of place that we change lives. And I think what Dr. Graves has talked about is just so gratifying to come to work. And I will hear stories all the time from students who say, "This was my shot." Maybe it's I'm needing a fresh start. Maybe it's my first shot. But man, just being able to give that access to everybody who walks through and then help them to get success and head towards a good living wage, it's amazing work.
I love hearing the stories of the first generation higher ed students, the first in their family to go on. What are some of the biggest challenges, though, that you're seeing students are facing?
Yeah, I'll start with this one. I mean, there's so many. So I do oversee the student engagement piece of our work. Our students have a lot of need. Our students typically do not come from backgrounds of privilege. They don't have a lot of resources, some of them. Some of our students do, and they've just decided this is the right financial move for me.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of students for whom the family support is not as significant. The financial resources to make it count at college, are going to be difficult to come by. So we really are including many, many things. So Frank mentioned the food pantry. We have a lot of students with food insecurity. So we want to make sure that food pantry is stocked and students can make sure their needs are getting met. If you're hungry, you're not going to learn a lot in your accounting class. So we want to help meet that need. Sometimes we have significant transportation needs for students. And a tire goes out in your car and I cannot get back and forth to class. So I've got to figure that out. That would be a situation where you would go to our foundation and they would potentially give you, we try within a 24-hour turnaround to give you an emergency grant. Go get you a new tire so you don't miss another class, so we don't sort of get stuck by these obstacles. Mental health is a huge one in higher ed, and that'll be my last example because we could go on and on. But mental health is huge in the college, and we do want to thank our board especially for this, because they've seen this need that we have got to commit the resources to have full-time counselors and care team members on our campus to help students to feel healthy and whole and well in all the various facets that entails. So those would just be three big ones, and among others.
Yeah, I think he's the nail on the head on there. And certainly from an advisor standpoint, just giving students good guidance. I mean, in their programs of their study, the areas that they want to go in, program, that guidance and advising on careers and the next steps.
Yeah, I think another thing in highlighting, though, community colleges, that it is offering to non-traditional students some opportunities, maybe to change career. We sort of touched on that. Let's elaborate a little more on the non-traditional student.
Sure, happy to.
So I think those entry points, when we talk about, like if we've been just talking about the dental assistant, that's a good opportunity. And even in that class, there are going to be some students that are recent graduates, but they're going to be returning mothers and daughters and those type of individuals that are coming back, that they're working at, jobs that may be more service oriented. They've always wanted to enter the healthcare. This is a good opportunity to certainly do that. We have other programs in certain, like patient care technician and those things that are get you exposed to the healthcare piece. So there's certainly that entry position there. Then most of our our program areas, even in business, will have shorter term credentials, and they're called occupational skills awards. So they're smaller, but they give you that first initial taste to, the academic work. And these are paired with industry partners who say these are the skills that they need for that entry level position. Well, they get there and they get some academic momentum, they get some success at it, then it propels them on along the way. So those are some areas that this helps students get some guidance, get some footing, and then to be able to advance forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and adult students are going to come into all of our different programs with a lot of different experiences and needs. You may have some people who just need to finish up an associate's on their way to a bachelor's. You may have students who are coming in. Frank mentioned earlier the adult education and literacy unit that we got. Now, those are folks who have got a lot of educational needs, and they really are starting really fresh to the work. And you got a lot of cool stories where students will finish, they'll get a GED and then they'll go straight into a program that we've not talked about that's another short-term program that can really help students as certified nurse aides. I mean, that's a great starting point that Frank was just mentioning about health professions. So we are trying to give adults the confidence and the entry points where they can come back and feel comfortable in our space and succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And then with our employers, we do have our corporate training unit. And what they're actually doing, they're going with two employers and offering, training for the most part there on their site. And those would be non-traditional students who are working employed, incumbent workers. And we have skills development grants that we work with the employer and say, okay, what are the skills that your employees need? We develop a plan and source that training to be able to train those individuals. So they're employed, but they are upskilling and getting more credentials. And we transcript those courses, and they have it to take with them. And if it's something that's taught that can stack into a credential, that puts them further along the way. So we do try to take advantage of everything we teach them or provide for them to see how does that fit for you to be able to progress from a stackable standpoint.
I love to hear stories, though. Can you think of like a success story, maybe from an employer standpoint, of someone you've heard of that's like, oh man, or just students or somebody that just kind of comes to mind that you want to share?
Well, it was interesting, and this is it's one of our chamber partners, and that I see at the chamber, and she mentioned that, she's really big and work with our engineering program and some of our engineering students, and that none of the students had completed our program, and that they had hired them. They'd gone on, they were in a 4-year, but they hired them on as an intern, and we're just kind of talking about how that's progressing, and seems to be really going really well. And those are the things that want to hear it. I don't know the student, but then someone comes up and just says, "Hey, you know what? We've hired X person, and they're doing really, really well." We've had a couple of folks reach out, and I think the idea of coming to us for internships is a great opportunity to give students an opportunity to apply for that. Now, when we've had folks reach out, I'm always concerned about finding the right fit for them and getting enough students to apply. The recent example was this, employer came back and said, "You know what? Put that out there. You guys, we had 3 folks come over, having a tough decision to make about which one to hire." So, I mean, that's kind of what you want those success stories to be, where the employer's getting an opportunity to see, okay, I just ask, and here's some candidates that are showing up that are viable.
Yeah, I'll just share 2 quick stories. One from the advisory committee that we just left, just to reconnect it to the dental assistant conversation that we've been having. We were just hearing a report from one of our instructors in that space about a couple things. There's a mother-daughter team that is studying dental assistant together, which is just lovely, mutually encouraging one another. And I think the mom is there as a support, and they're performing beautifully, and they're going to have a great career opportunity after 10 weeks.
Yeah.
So a mother-daughter team, and then just a student in that program who went to the instructor and said, with tears in her eyes, I just didn't know what I was going to do next until I saw this program advertised. And these programs, 10 weeks, these are small things, right? At the end of the day, when you think about the grand sort of full spectrum of academic opportunities, but they're potentially life-changing. I'll share generally when you go to, Frank's sharing about the engineering degree, which is an associate's degree, which typically leads to a transfer and then hopefully a great, great employment outcome. But these sort of shorter term programs, certified nurse aide, patient care tech, dental assistant, these sort of short term things, when you go to the graduations, and they are the most inspirational graduations. So I have, I don't share this to boast, but I have a PhD from Duke, right? That's a very fancy commencement ceremony. You get a hood. It is a really, how do I put that? That's a rarefied kind of thing.
Right.
This doesn't come close to the joy that you see with a GED graduation or somebody who's completed one of these 10-week programs. Or you show up for a licensed vocational nursing graduation, and they allow, there's a pinning ceremony. You receive ceremonially a pin.
Yeah.
And they will let a family member do that. So you'll have here's a 5-year-old boy who's putting the pin on his mom. And I'll tell you, it gets dusty in that room real quick.
Yeah.
I text my wife and I say, well, I'm here again crying. So they're just inspirational moments. And boy, we could tell a lot of stories about students.
I bet you could. What would you say, though, to someone who's just unsure about taking that first step? How would you encourage them?
Yeah, I mean, we would give certain examples, but we're here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're here, and we've got the processes in place to get you to that next step. And and one thing when we think about the data, when we look at most of our programs have where there's an accreditation piece on the back end of it, some exam you have to take. We have many of those that have 100% pass rates.
Yeah.
We have 93% of those students that complete, they're either transfer or they're working in their field. So not only do we have the data to show and the outcomes associated with it, the faculty and staff that work at the campus are going to be about your best interest. They're going to be about you crossing the stage, getting the pinning, and those type of things are about your success. And that's the community part of it, and the relationship that you'll have with them, your faculty and staff that you will be working with.
I'll just say McLennan Community College is a place where people care. We care deeply. It's sincere. We care about economic development, and the chance that you can do that and change students' lives is just a tremendous gift. I think I would say 2 things to students. I would say, 1, you can do it. You can do it. So some people need to hear that. They don't believe that.
Right.
The other thing is you won't have to do it alone. The college has committed a tremendous amount of resources to make sure that you succeed and you achieve that post-completion outcome where you can have, a contented and whole and happy life here in our community. So it's a joy to be able to do that work. It really is.
Well, it's obvious that you both have such a passion, and a dedication to what you're doing. And it's really a thrill for me to get to kind of shine the spotlight on McLennan Community College, one of my favorite places here in Central Texas, as we celebrate Community College Month. This is just a wonderful thing for us all. Thank you.
Thank you,
you.
Ann. And we'll be celebrating Community College Month all year.
Oh.
So thank you so much for having us today. We're
Thank
grateful.
you.
Absolutely. Well, I want to tell you that today's show is brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You can transform your home with our premium window, door, and siding installation services. Universal Windows Direct Central Texas makes upgrading your home simple and stress-free. Call Universal Windows Direct Central Texas today. They are located in Woodway. Stay with us. There's more of the show ahead.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
If I had somebody that was looking for a car, I would definitely recommend Allen Samuels. The trust that I have, the care that they take, they genuinely want to take care of you. They really ask for your feedback when you go to the support department to make sure they're taking care of you in every way possible. So I really appreciate that they listen to your feedback.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLennan Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
What is that?
There's a song that's been buried down deep inside of me, waiting for someone to hear. I don't know if it's loneliness I sometimes feel. It could be the weed or the beer. And X marks the spot to a treasure somewhere, for maps that the other folks have. One that I got here, it's so withered with tears, I don't even know where I'm at. And I take my chance if I get one, and I call my boss an asshole. You know he can be one. And between black and white, the grays hide. Wrong or right, you can find me there. Smack dab between stubborn and fair. Keep hearing up north how them folks lost their minds. I sure hope they figure it out. I'll be the first one to tell you right now, it ain't that much different down south. Oh, give me a shovel and I'll pave the way straight to the tavern downtown. Backyard Waco. A state that's this big, you know, a boy could get lost. I sure hope I figure it out. And I'll hold my hand if it's a hard one, and I'd call a cab if I need one, 'cause I'm too drunk to drive. And between black and white and police lights, wrong or right, oh, you'll find me there. I was cuffed up between stubborn and fair. Need that kazoo again. And I'll take my shot if I see one, and I'd set my hook if I feel one. Nibble my line, I'm gonna get him this time. And I root for the Cowboys in the fall time. I call my dad and he'll say, son, just give it your all and you'll be just fine.
If I had somebody that was looking for a car, I would definitely recommend Allen Samuels. The trust that I have, the care that they take, they genuinely want to take care of you. They really ask for your feedback when you go to the support department to make sure they're taking care of you in every way possible. So I really appreciate that they listen to your feedback.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
I had a panic moment running my hands through my hair, and that's when I found Keeps. Keeps gave me the results that I was really looking for.
I definitely felt a lot more confident once I saw my hair coming back.
Keeps has given me the control of my hair back.
Get your first month free at Keeps.com.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
This is a Rogue Media Network production.